before. And unfortunately, the recording that we have from September 8th, for some people, it worked well, but because you're so gracious, your commentary is interspliced with other people. So it didn't, you were either responding to somebody or, we couldn't put it together in a way that really made a lot of sense. But I adore you, and all the things that you say make a lot of sense when they come out of your mouth.
Wise words, sage.
You're going to be such an amazing, you're already an amazing speaker, but I can't wait until your phase where you have all the time in the world to just be an inspirational speaker. And I'm so excited about it. I've been working with Felicity on the Hong Kong opportunity. I haven't followed up with her, but she's another person who I want to share her story because she has some amazing ones. So that would be good. So let me ask you a really easy question. What was your favorite part of the Future Proof course? What was the part that meant the most?
Actually, I was kind of like looking through the course to see the various modules again. And I was like, oh, I like this. Oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. But I think the one thing that maybe most people might not talk about, and it's really odd coming from a CFO, is still the part about preparing the audit of my financial assets. Because it wasn't the financial assets results itself, it was the process of going through it, right? So first of all, I was paid during my garden leave. I knew my financial position, and I'm a CFO, right? But I think it was the process of knowing that the goal of the exercise is to give you confidence that you're okay, so that you give yourself the permission to do whatever that's you need to do. And for me, it was like, it gave me the assurance of knowing that it's okay if I don't have a job for a certain period of time. I'm more than okay, actually. But I think that process really, ingrained in me. I was like, oh, I know of you. And that's why I told you, nowadays, I still do the same exercise. So as you could call it budget discipline, but I'm not that disciplined. But I like looking at that number because it gives me that assurance that I'm okay. And it always brings me back to the process of like, why did I do that exercise? Because otherwise you'll be doing, well, I do budgets annually, but like, it's just something you have to do. But that was like a purposeful process that you've gone through. And it just makes you feel, I'm okay, So it's okay. So that was, I think, I can't remember which module it was, but it was early on. So it really gave myself the freedom to know that, take advantage of this, of this time.
So you said it was a deeper, it allowed you to think about why. So tell me more about why that was important, because anybody can do a budget, but what did it, why is it important to know what go through that whole audit of, of your life, which is, in fact, it was an audit of financial, it was an audit of kind of your time, your intention. So when you did it and then you realized that that was okay, what did it allow you to do in terms of the decisions you made?
It just gave me assurance. I guess it's being reflective, because you go through the motions of, like, let's say I do an annual budget, or I look at where I spend money, but it's mechanical. But this was done with the intent of, you should reflect on where you are in terms of how you future-proof, right? And so for me, that future-proofing was, how do I enjoy it and how do I get the stress out of my mind so I can focus on future-proofing? maybe that's the way. Because you remember I was looking for a job and it was like a shitty situation. But yeah, so it just gave you that like, it's okay. It's just something that I'm going through. And wow, am I lucky to kind of have these awesome people that I get to do this with? So you get to enjoy the course itself, you know? And
Yeah.
yeah.
And so I remember when you were deciding between different jobs, and one of the things that people were always impressed by was how you decided not to take a job that you didn't feel aligned with your values. So how did you do that?
Well, I think it was wider than just that one decision, because I have to go back and look at my exact values, that value exercise. So it was the most fun because all of us lay out these pieces of paper. But I still remember there were 3 things on the very top front. I think it was like family, health, and I think it was maybe 2, family and health, right? And then the others, you know, I said the middle column is, this is me, like everybody should read this and go, this is Elaine. And my 3rd column was what I needed, what I want to work on. And so I don't know, maybe it just took us weeks to do that exercise. And maybe it's like, for God's sake, if I'm going to have to do this, I better, it must mean something, right? But I still remember I did that homework. I went, you know, I say family and health is the most important. But yet when I'm in a job and it's busy, those are the first 2 things I give up. And that was like this aha moment, right? So that was the first time it meant something. Like, it's not just a value exercise. It's like, wow, how you behave despite that being your values, it actually didn't align. And so I think that was the catalyst for me to really then come think about this job. That's like, if you got this job, but it doesn't anchor on these pieces of paper, and how could I be trying to build this purpose CFO brand? That doesn't really make sense. So, you know, you can't just say it, you have to do it. So I guess that's the main thing.
How can you support the purpose of a company if you can't be true to your own purpose?
Yep. And or sometimes, like when you look at, you know, people talk about sustainability, and, you know, I'm a big advocate for, I don't know how it's going to be measured. I mean, you need to measure, but I don't care which form you choose. But I always say it's not about what you say, right? It's like, how do you embed it within a company's DNA so that it means something to a company? So it's no different than these values. You know, you say these are your values, but that was the moment that's like, you internalize it and say, this is my value, right? Like, and why are you not doing it? Like, so it was so natural to do that. So it's not like I had to give it a lot of thought, but I think the process of the exercise, it's like, wait. You can't say that and do that, because now you feel what those value means for you.
And what is it about sharing it with other people that also changes that?
I think first is that it makes you accountable, because that's what you said. And I think that's the whole thing, right? The whole course make you accountable. And I don't mean just accountability Thursday. It's the homework that you do is for no one else but yourself. So that accountability is so powerful, because it's for you to learn about your true self. You must be honest with yourself. Unless you do that, you can't really overcome that barrier of future proofing, I guess. It's like, how do you get yourself right? Because you can always find reasons of not to, but doing that. And then you have this group of people who are doing the exact same thing, and probably maybe not feel the exact same way I did, but there's something that anchors all of us. So therefore, when you say it to people, you don't need to explain it, right? They get it, because yeah, that's what I've just gone through. But nobody ever said that. But it was so easy. So it's like, you know, yes, I don't want to be an alcoholic anymore, and this is my commitment to myself. I know why, but then you have this group of people that just went, yay, and so the community is, I think it's also the diversity of the community. And it's not just about my personal growth. It was such a joy watching my cohort grow, right? So I always say I knew Beth because I didn't know her well, but she was the president of PTA. And I watched Beth transform from PTA president, who I thought was amazing and could do anything, but she didn't think so, to put herself into this empty nester, to become this food blogger and to write to her favorite food blogger and got a reply. And like, what courage is it to do that? So that was like, wow. And then, anybody that you help through, you just feel like it makes me feel good that I can help somebody, because I know that I'm not just drawing on people to help me. So it's such a satisfactory thing, right? Like I get this nice feeling for myself. I tell people what it is, they help me even make it more impactful. And so as I'm just not taking from them, I also give back. So I think that community is definitely super powerful.
There's a lot of reciprocity in the relationships there, and
Yes.
people giving and taking and receiving and building, which is nice.
But then one of the things I wanted to kind of like remember when I why I took the course. I didn't think I need to be future proof. I tell all the kids, like, I was in book number 1. I don't need to be future proof because I was already future proof. But but the course itself was, I wanted to audit the course. But then I kind of thought about the people I met, and then a lot of the people want to take it because they're probably through not just a transition in life, but actually a job transition. I remember a lot of people looking for a job. I know different. And maybe you could say that gives you the time to do it. But I also remember learning that future thinking part of one of the modules. It's like future thinking is about readiness, right? So if you inoculate yourself with a whole range of possibility, and if one comes along, you're better prepared for it. So whether it's a good preparation, it's a good thing that comes along, a bad thing comes along, you're prepared. So I was definitely prepared. So that's why I think it's really important, like when I try to convey to people, don't do it when you're going to do a job transition. You gotta prepare yourself for it. And let's say in a year's time, I want to get a new job. You gotta prepare yourself. But maybe you stay in that job, but you still prepare. But versus if you're now out of a job, you have other stresses to deal with, right? So how do we convey to people that the best time to do it? Oh, I always tell people the best time to find a job is when you have a job. So maybe the best time to do future proofing is when you're practicing something and still be able to parallel track it, because it allows you to think about, maybe I actually really like my job because all of that fits in, or maybe I really don't, and this is why I need to look for it. Whatever it is for a person, is that I feel people shouldn't put it off, right? And so take it from me, right? And be prepared for that. And even then, I prepare myself differently than the 12 years that I've been future proofing myself. So you still, and I don't think I do it justice in terms of being able to capture what the course meant for me, except, like the process and being able to be clear about my values and choosing the right decisions and that community. But really, it's like, there's something special about it. And I wish I could capture into it. Hopefully everybody will give you the snippets that will put it into that perfect bowl from all of us.
Well, a lot of the things that you said are, I've written down some of them because I will highlight different parts. And I think everybody has a different experience, and it's almost like a mosaic, and what it is all those different facets that people have come with create this beautiful picture. It's not just the one person or many people saying exactly the same thing,
Mhm.
which would be easier, but it's really the fact that everybody is kind of working a little bit differently. And some people come to really, think about values, and other people, like Felicity said, this is why I need to do it now. I'm gonna talk about my website, because I said, this is how much you should charge. This is how you can approach this. This is how you tell me how you're gonna brand yourself. Okay, maybe do it a little bit differently for a speaker. What kind of marketing assets you have, like some really very detailed, specific stuff. Because she said, I feel like I've done the big picture stuff, but now it's about executing.
Mm. Yeah, I think maybe that resonates with me, because the way that I say it is it's internalizing it, right? So it's all of this stuff, but now I know what it means for me. So maybe that's the smaller bit, right? It's like the execution bit, like I'm executing my values and belief in a true way. And when you do that, how you last we learned from James, experiential learning. That was my internal experiential learning. So now it's just, it's in you, it, right? It's like, what you stand for.
Yeah, I love that. You know what you stand for. That's wonderful. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with me?
No, I think that's no, I think it's good. Mhm.
I've got a lot
Other
of
than that, I love you.
Too funny.